Oh, hello, kawaii kawaii, my imaginary student. Okay, so I know that you don't like to conduct our class face to face because it's holidays and your mindset is into your staycation, your vacation, your rest. That's why I'll not be meeting you. But let's do this video lecture for you to watch and study and do an activity in the MS Teams afterwards. Okay, so I'll be sharing my PowerPoint now. Today's video, we're going to study processes of community immersion. Yeah, I know that this sounds a repetition for you. If you have noticed, the topics that we have been studying for the past weeks or the past days are just reiteration of the previous topics. And I think it's intentional for you to be really equipped with the skills, the knowledge, the theories, the guidelines, yeah, the steps, the processes that you should know before getting outside, before going outside for our community immersion, for implementing our project. Okay, so process of community immersion. I have here a question for all of you. I hope you'll answer this and just include this in your MS Teams. Why do processes play a vital or important part to or on one's success? So what do you think makes a project successful? Of course, because of the processes, because of the steps. You can't do it just by a snap of a finger. Hindi mo magagawa ang isang bagay sa isang pitik lamang or kapag ka sinabi mo, let there be light. Ah, di ba? God ang peg. Okay, so hindi gano'n. Meron tayong kailangan paghandaan, meron tayong mga ginagawang mga papeles muna, inihahandang mga papel or mga dokumento bago tayo sumapak sa isang bakbakan, charot, sa isang pag-implement ng project. Okay, so these are what we call our processes. And for this particular topic, what we're going to study are the processes of community immersion. Okay, so at the end of this unit, you should be able to, number one, verbalize the process of immersion as a guide for rendering service to the communities. Design a community immersion plan of implementation following the process, and internalize the importance of carrying out the steps of community immersion in series. Okay, so phase one, it's what we call pre-immersion. When we say pre, before immersion. So before you go outside, before you go out and implement the project in our chosen community or in our chosen barangay, there are things that we need to do, we need to consider, we need to inculcate in our minds before going there. Okay, so phase one, pre-immersion, it regards the identification of the community where the students are immersed at. Trainees will have to prepare themselves physically, mentally, and spiritually for many tasks ahead. Many, sabi niya, tapos task lang ito, ano? For many tasks ahead. Okay, so how are you going to prepare yourselves physically? Make sure that when we go outside, when we go out and implement our project, make sure na you are well, you're physically well, mentally well, and spiritually well. Physically well, ibig sabihin, dapat hindi ka nilalagnat pag nandoon tayo kasi baka makahawa ka pa, especially if our target beneficiaries are old or are young, di ba? Yung mga bata o kaya yung mga matatanda. So, prone sila na mahawaan. So, dapat wala kang lagnat, wala kang sipon, wala kang ubo. So, in preparation, have a very good and enough sleep perhaps. Huwag mo na magpupuyat sa social media or sa mobile games ninyo. Prepare yourselves physically, drink lots of water, and be sure that you are well kapag nandoon kayo. Para, ayun nga, kasi kapag may sakit ka, may tendency ka pa na magkahawa. Instead na makatulong ka, hinawaan mo pa ng virus yung dapat natutulungan natin. Okay? Mentally, dapat ano ka din, yung mindset mo into helping. Dapat nakafocus ka and the power of focus, parang yung attention mo ay nandoon sa activity at wala sa anumang bagay, ibang bagay. Dapat free ka of any disturbances, emotional disturbances, or problems. Leave your problems at home. Huwag dalhin doon sa immersion natin. Okay? And of course, spiritually, we also have to ask guidance from the Almighty. Protect us kasi nasa labas tayo. Sana walang accidents, unwanted accidents na mangyari. or unwanted incidences katulad ng baka may makipag-away sa inyo or baka tayo naman yung awayin. So, na-discuss ko na ito sa inyo actually na dapat pag nandun tayo, hindi tayo nakikipag-away. We shouldn't be showing negative attitude there na kung nag-negative attitude sila sa atin, hindi dapat natin ibalik sa kanila. So, we should always just speak virtues. Ayan. So, let's just pray for everything to be smooth and for everything to go well, kasi ang intention natin dito ay maganda para makatulong at primary reason para makatulong sa ating community, and secondary na lang yung para maipasa nyo itong kurso na ito because it's, as you all know, this is a requirement to passing the NSTP course. Okay, so trainees must have waivers from their parents. Na-discuss ko na ito sa inyo. Wag na wag pepekehin ang signature ng parents. Just explain to them na, Mapa, we need to go out. Kailangan namin lumabas kasi part yun ng aming kurso sa San Carlos lang naman at ipapaalam din naman sa heads doon. And this is if we are going to be permitted nga by our campus executive director, by our chairperson, by our dean, kasi nga nung pandemic ay wala, bawal, hindi pwedeng lumabas. O baka naman ngayon, after 2 years na medyo nagiging okay naman na yung situation sa lansangan, ay mapayagan tayo because our intention is pure and good naman, and that is to reach out, extend our service, extend our help to the marginalized sectors in the community. Okay? So the school also needs to organize its own manpower, resources, and other technical needs. Okay, so we can perhaps ask assistance from our campus executive director. For example, yung sasakyan, baka pwedeng hiramin natin para ihatid tayo doon sa destination natin para safer at hindi na rin natin kailangan mamasahe. At baka may mga pwedeng ipahiram sa atin ng mga kagamitan. For example, the project is tree planting. So, pwede naman tayong makahiram sa utility ng mga tools, gardening tools. So, para hindi na bilhin o para hindi nyo nakunin yung mga gamit nyo sa bahay. So, these are the things that we can ask from our school, so from our campus, from here in San Carlos campus, through our campus executive director, Dr. Liza Gibson. And according to many who have undergone immersion, the activities could be both exciting and exhausting. Okay, remember that ha? It could really be exciting and fulfilling. I'm sure na kapag naging successful yung project implementation natin, you'll really feel fulfilled, you'll really feel happy. Pero at the same time, nakakapagod din siya. Hindi natin yan pwedeng i-deny, hindi natin yan maipagkakaila. That is why you have to prepare yourself physically, mentally, and spiritually kasi exhausting siya, taxing siya, nakakapagod. At we also should prepare ourselves, especially our mentality, for unwanted incidences, kagaya ng baka may magtaray sa atin, may makaway sa atin, may marinig tayong hindi maganda. Sabi ko na yun sa inyo, we know what to do, okay? Just behave and show them that you are a true PS Union, carrying the values, the core ideologies of Pangasinan State University. Okay? Pre-immersion pa lang yan, class. Next, criteria in selection of an area for immersion. So these are the things that we are going to remember or we should take note before choosing an area or a barangay which is going to be our beneficiary. Ayan. Select our areas. Local partners must be willing to work and support community project. This is important kasi nga, diba, doon sa do's and don'ts natin, kailangan natin mag-courtesy call muna sa community leaders such as our barangay captain, perhaps our barangay kagawad, and in front of barangay tanods na pwedeng mga tumulong sa atin. City mayor perhaps dito, Central City Mayor, syempre. Ayan. So, dapat willing sila na suportahan yung project natin. And I'm sure na the answer is yes because para naman sa kanila sa constituents nila, sa mga kababayan nila, sa mga sinasakupan nila, especially kapag kayong mga badyaw dito sa San Carlos, tutulungan natin. I'm sure na gustong-gusto yan ni Mayor Rizwelio. Okay, consider needs and resources within the capability of students and community partners. Again, we don't encourage yung napakalaking pera na contribution, walang ganyan. So, donation lang or donation of your clothes, of food, yan, etc. Pag-uusapan naman natin yan. Mga old clothes din yun na pwedeng i-donate sa mga badya, old sleepers, etc. Ayan. Yung mga dapat natin na pag-usapan kasi hindi pwede na sa pilitan ang pagbigay ng pera. Kasi, ayan, State University ito, I'm sure na kung may mga rich kids sa inyo, mas marami ang mga walang kaya. Sabihin, nagsusumikap lang na mag-aaral, masahe lang ang meron na pumapasok sa eskwelahan. So places that are not saturated by other agencies, yung hindi na nasakupan ng ibang government agencies, yan yung mga pwede nating puntahan. Stable peace and order situation. Ayan, stable peace and order situation, ibig sabihin, dapat ang pupuntahan natin na barangay yung walang threat sa security and sa peace and order natin, yung hindi tayo paparilin. Oo, dapat hindi siya place of mga rebelde, for example. Ayan, wala namang ganun dito sa San Carlos. So, meron ba? Wala naman. And of course, accessibility. Baka kailangan natin ng internet kapag kami magpa-webinar sa inyo, or kailangan natin ng accessibility to electricity. Ayan, pwede naman to power, to internet. Yan, syempre kailangan natin ng connection, ng communication habang nandoon tayo in case of emergency, etc. Okay. And phase 2 naman, entering the community na. So parang yung phase 1, yan yung understanding the community. O phase 2 na, yan na yung implementing the project or entering the community. Nandoon na tayo mismo sa barangay, chosen barangay natin, implementing our project. So phase 2 here in the entering the community, to ensure the success in entering the community, it is necessary to have community mapping of the target area. This will help you identify the geographic coverage of the project. It will also help point out the resources that may be used by the trainees in the community and the relationship of people with these resources. We're not really implementing our project in a very large scope or in a very large area. Doon lang naman tayo sa maliliit lang, yung kaya lang natin, kasi isa rin yan sa criteria ng pag-implement ng project. Dapat yung within your capability lang. Doon lang naman sa kaya natin. Hindi buong bayan, hindi rin not really buong barangay, pero syempre magpipili tayo ng mga beneficiaries natin, yung deserving lang or like in one area lang. Basta makatulong lang tayo kahit sa ilang mga nangangailangan, pwede na yun. Okay? Alright. So anchored on Manalili's concepts, those planning to conduct community immersion can enter the community through ostentatious entry. What does it mean by ostentatious entry? Complete people with banner and a general assembly of the people, the community ushers in the people. Okay, so yun yung ostentatious entry, pero mukhang hindi tayo dyan kasi selected lang naman yung mga pwede nating tulungan given our limited resources. At yan, mga estudyante kayo, and for fulfillment ng ating kurso, pipili lang tayo ng medyo maliit lang na within our capacity. Banking on the people's weakness, the outsiders try to find out which aspect is that the community will need them for, and through this emphasize on how they could be helpful. Ayan, dito tayo sa pangalawa, banking on the people's weakness. Ano yung kahinaan ng mga tao sa lugar na yun? Ano yung pangangailangan nila? So for example, sa edukasyon sila nagkulang. So yung mga hindi marunong magbasa at magsulat, sila lang yung mga tuturuan natin. So not really the entire community, not really the entire population, all the people living in that area, living in that barangay, ang maka-receive ng ating service. Pero from identifying their weakness through our needs assessment survey, from identifying their needs, ayan, yung problema nila, yun lang yung i-cater natin. Dito tayo sa banking on the people's weakness. For example, kapag ka-feeding program naman, tapos ang target natin ay like 5 to 10 years old, syempre sila lang, so hindi yung mga matatanda, hindi yung middle age, hindi rin yung mga newborn, 5 to 10 years old, at pipiliin lang natin yung mga malnourished. Syempre yung healthy, yung okay naman ang pangangatawan na kain ng 3 beses and very regular every day, syempre medyo disqualify siya kasi nga very limited ang resources natin, kaya dapat na ang maka-receive ay yung mga talagang nangangailangan. Okay, academic style of entry. Academic institutions field some students into the community regarding its concerns. Di tayo dyan. People-centered approach. This approach ultimately believes on the capacity of the community people to participate and acknowledge whether outside assistance is really needed. Okay, dito tayo sa banking on the people's weakness. I-identify natin kung ano yung pangangailangan nila, and from that, we can also identify the group of people who is going to receive our assistance, our service. Okay, ito na, phase 3, community integration. It is a continuous process wherein the trainees come into direct contact and become involved with the community people. This phase is where the immersion phase gets more personal. The trainees should realize that there is an existing concern within the community. And as the problem of the community become more apparent, you become aware and validate that you are part of the circle. Nandun ka na, integrate, ibig sabihin to unite. Nakaka-relate ka na, you're getting similar with them kasi nandun ka na nga integrate mo na yung sarili mo after mong mag-immerse, after mong kilalanin at i-identify kung ano yung pangailangan nila. Ito na tayo, phase 3, nandoon ka na mismo. You are becoming more aware and that you validate that you are part of the circle. Okay, so integration may be done through border style. The trainees may choose to stay and live in the immersion area for a certain period of time. Pero ito, na-discuss ko na ito sa inyo na medyo may konting modifications tayo when it comes to our community immersion. We redefine it kasi nga, kung tutuusin yung community immersion natin, ganito dapat talaga. But because of our limited resources at hindi naman possible din yan may site tayo doon or may camping site, for example, walang ganun kasi hindi na siya kakayanin ng resources natin. So yung project natin or yung activity natin, it will only last for a day. Okay, so syempre bago ngayon, pupunta din naman tayo doon para kilalanin yung barangay, we familiarize ourselves with the place. Tapos yung activity ay 1 day lang mismo. Okay? So hindi ka na kailangan mag-stay and live in the immersion area kasi wala nga tayong site doon or immersion area na tinatawag. Activity area, yun na mismo yun yung paggaganapan natin ng activity for 1 day lang din. Okay, elitist style, some trainees tend to stay close to key informants and political players during their stay in the community. Ayan, pero hindi nga tayo mag-stay doon. Elitist style, sabihin kasama mo yung mga community leaders natin. Maaaring doon mismo sa barangay halls, kay barangay captain o sa bahay ni barangay captain, pero hindi naman natin ang gagawin. And then people-centered method of living with the people or kaya naman live with the residents na hindi nga natin gagawin na kasi 1 day lang talaga yung ating community immersion. Okay? Phase 4, community needs assessment. Ito na, yung needs assessment survey. Needs assessment, social analysis, or community diagnosis, as others refer to, is a concrete base for the formulation of programs. It reflects the sentiments, needs, aspirations, and recommendations of the community people. When it is done properly, it reflects also the trainees' feelings of oneness with the community. They begin to see that people's problems also reflect their own. Itong community needs assessment, ito nga yung ipapasagot natin sa mga residente ng chosen barangay natin para ma-identify natin kung ano yung kanilang needs, kung ano lang kanilang pangangailangan. Community diagnosis, we are going to diagnose the problem in that certain barangay or in that certain area or place. Okay? So what is community needs assessment? It is the process wherein the problems, issues, and concerns of the community are identified through the use of several tools for assessment. It encourages the participation of the community as they are the stakeholders to the findings in the assessment. So yung tinutukoy ito na several tools for assessment, isa sa tool, assessment tool ay yung questionnaire natin, yung survey. Yun yung ipapagawa ko sa inyo. So as to many categories, for example, sa health or sa for example actually dapat nga talaga needs assessment muna bago yung project. For example, doon sa tanong mo, number 1, ilang beses kumakain sa isang araw? So yung mga choices pwedeng 3 times, 2 times, 1 time, or minsan pa nga wala. So hindi, parang sa isang araw may mga araw na hindi sila kumakain. So papasagot natin yun sa kanila. Yung participation na sinasabi dito ng community, ayun nga, kailangan nilang sagutan yung pinapasagot natin, yun yung participation nila. And then from that, we will, from all those gathered data, we will interpret them. For example, 100 yung sinurvey mo, and then 75 sa kanila ang nagsabi na may mga araw na hindi sila kumakain. So definitely, ang pwede mong maging activity, pwede mong maging project ay yung feeding program para kahit papaano naman ma-ease yung kagutuman. Pero ayun nga, ang community immersion actually class ay dapat pang matagalan, sustainable siya at hindi lang pang isang araw. Pero for the sake of, ayun, fulfilling lang, or extending lang our service to the community kahit isang araw lang kasi limited ang resources natin, ayun, gagawin lang natin siya ng 1 day, pero para ituro ko talaga sa inyo kung ano ang tama, dapat sustainable talaga siya. Hindi lang yan 1 day, dapat masusolusyonan talaga niya ang problema. So definitely kapag 75/100 yung analysis mo doon sa data na 75 ang nagsabi na may mga araw na hindi sila kumakain, dapat ang maging project mo ay, ayun, bigyan sila ng means para bili ng pang-araw-araw na pangangailangan, pang-araw, especially pagkain. So hindi lang yan mangyayari sa isang feeding program kasi kapag nag-feeding program ka ng 1 day, naibsan ang kanilang gutom for 1 day, pero doon na, nagtapos na doon. So hindi siya sustainable, hindi niya na-resolve yung problem. Okay, so I know you're getting the point. Pero let's be realistic na ang kaya lang natin gawin ay yung feeding program for 1 day or babalik tayo sa finals siguro as, again, your examination, ayan, which will serve as your examination. Okay, importance of needs assessment, gather information about citizens' attitudes and options in order of importance. Ayan, irarank natin kung ano yung mga pinaka-kailangan ng mga taong sinurvey natin. Determine how citizens rank issues, problems, and opportunities in order of importance or urgency. Ano kaya yung para sa kanila ay urgent, yung maibsan ang kanilang kagutuman, maibsan ang pangangailangan nila sa edukasyon o kaya sa environment. Marami na bang nagkakasakit dahil sa pollution, water pollution, air pollution. So ano yung mga kailangan natin gawin para masolusyonan ang mga problema na yun. Give citizens a voice in determining policies, goals, and priorities, evaluate current programs and policies, provide speculations about what people are thinking, and provide speculations about what people really want. Okay, information to be included in assessing community needs. Okay, ito, historical development refers to data on how the community became what it is today and provide insights into the kind of resources to collect. Geographical and transportation information naman includes information on the community's patterns and population contributions. Political and legal functions include strategies that are community-based. Demographic data includes data on age, characteristics, size, race, and transients of population. Demographic data, na-discuss ko yun sa inyo dati. Economic data, this refers to the economic-based social, cultural, educational, recreational organization. Okay, for example, economic data nila ay ano ang highest educational attainment, elementary graduate, high school graduate, college graduate. Ayan, yun yung mga makikita ninyo doon sa gagawin nating questionnaire or survey. Okay? Ito medyo hindi madaling gumawa ng survey kasi dapat valid siya. Valid and reliable para yung result ay valid din. Kasi kapag mali yung questionnaire mo, mali yung construction of questionnaire mo, kahit ano man ang makuha mong result, hindi siya valid, hindi siya reliable, hindi mo siya pwedeng pagbasihan ng i-implement mong project. So it's very important that we discuss this thoroughly at face-to-face. Dapat itong paggawa ng needs assessment survey natin, following all these guidelines, itong information to be included in assessing community needs. Ito yung mga tatanungin natin from the people, from our stakeholders, from the people living in, or the residents living in our chosen barangay. Ayan. So, iisa-isahin natin to sa face-to-face. I hope you have learned a lot in today's discussion. We end muna doon sa ano bang importance ng and definition ng needs assessment survey. Okay? And then, natapos din naman natin yung steps sa pre-immersion, ano yung sumunod sa entering the community, and then community integration, and then finally, yung After community integration, ano yung final step natin dito? Community needs assessment pa, and then meron pa dyan na i-discuss natin sa face-to-face na. Kasi ang paggawa ng needs assessment survey, hindi biro, kailangan maging valid niyan para yung result ay valid and reliable din. Okay? So, the end of video lecture. I hope you've learned a thing or two from this video lecture. Please watch and study it and do the activity in your MS Teams. Okay, see you after holidays.